April the 17th, 2026, 9:42 p.m. And the charts don't lie. And so many things have transpired in the last few days. And I want each and every one of you to know that I've attained the status of omnipresence. In other words, if you were in deep meditation and you hit enlightenment, then it would cause for some deep celebration. And as we look at the moment in time of where we are, historically speaking, in the chart, this is very interesting as we understand where we are. Some people are here and they're looking at the rigmarole of the emotional ups and downs of this roller coaster we've been on called the markets. And we recently explained how we are flagging some pi cycle bottoms here. And I don't know if you can see it, but I can see it. The cursor is on the pi cycle bottom label. And the fragmentation grenade has gone off, flagging these are the bottoms of markets on a macro level. And of course, as we pan out just a little further and catch a little bit more data and information, you can see the golden box here, along with a bear flag and some other components in the chart. There are the pi cycle bottom with 3 fragmentation grenades. And of course, with the programming, you can understand Elliott wave theory and Wyckoff method. Did we not hit the zone that was pre-drawn? Zone. So what is next is the question. Well, we know that we got a number of indicators on here, and the X's typically mark short-term bottoming of the market, but we're only on a 4-hour time frame. X is coming out of there. Boom. No X's under these candles, dipping back down beneath the ribbon. And we see X's. When we're above the ribbon, no X's. We do have a white line in there. The white line is either the 20 or 21 moving average. You can see that we're currently above it, at least on the 4-hour chart. But let's pan back to get more data. You can see that we're in a golden zone here. This golden zone, golden pocket, call it what you want, occurs whenever we're on a 1-week chart and the RSI has dipped to 45 or below, which means massively people are selling. And when the candlestick price is below the 20 moving average. So two things basically have to line up in order to get into this golden zone here. Let's go on a 1-week chart. And you can see the beautiful box here of the golden zone, which means we may soon be leaving the bottom of the market, which could represent, for right now, the best time to buy. Price can dip a little more because we can count cadence, and we can understand that we alternate between blues and yellows. And I know that yellow, blue in the future is due for a yellow 1 and a 3 death cross that could potentially usher in the 2 and the 6 death cross. It may be short-lived. The markets are heating up in the background. We can see them cooling down. We can see a lot of other things going on in the chart as well. This is my RSI. That is my RSI. I don't really like the colors. And let's go black. Let's make it stand out just a little better. All right. Now, got the green bars that we see in the golden zone, on the 1-day chart. Let's pan back and let's begin to look at the fragmentation grenades that went off in history and see how many pi cycle bottoms we've hit. How long is this golden zone going to last? Is it special at all? Is it really marking the bottom of the market in most cases, statistically speaking? So let's pan to a 1 week chart. And as we pan to a 1 week chart, let's cut on the pi cycle for the 1 week chart. We'll put this towards the bottom of the screen. And let's put on that beautiful 1 week pi cycle top. Probably got more indicators on than we need. All right, now as we look at the golden zone, we see the two most opportune seasons or times to get in. Remember, green, this particular color, black or burgundy are great times to get in on the gap. Now with the golden zone, you see two times, two seasons to get in, this zone here and this zone here. And you can clearly see we may possibly be leaving the golden zone as the RSI is just in a territory where it just seems to be leaving the station. As far as the train leaving the station, let's look at this one here. Okay, so that's a fragmentation grenade that went off, only one of them, but it did pick the bottom, and you can see the pi cycle bottom, and riding into shades of orange, you did increase. Let's just take a brief measurement. 23%. And of course, you got some gaps where you can get in on, and that was explosive there. But not to focus on that, because you may have seen that before. Let's look at the pi cycle bottom. So I'm looking for the next black ribbon. And so that we don't crunch things up too much, let's just pan to the left back in the past. I see the pi cycle bottom ribbon in the midst of the golden zone here. And that is beautiful, because we're in a similar place and time now. Now, when the pi cycle bottom comes in, you may or may not have some fragmentation grenades around it. The fragmentation grenades have gone off for the pi cycle bottom. And it appears that this was a great spot to get in. Now, I know there is a wick there, and I'm not necessarily going to move things out of the way as far as that candle wick there, but I know it's there, and out of the green, the price is higher. When the pi cycle top comes in, especially in the golden zone, you can expect things to begin to increase, and you can start compounding your interest, because you're at the bottom of the market, and typically things can go down just for a little bit more based on the pi cycle bottom fragmentation grenade going off. But you can start compounding interest. 42% price dips. Notice the green. Get in. Ride it into orange. 70%. Price dips into black. Goes up a little. 20%. Get in. 24%. There's black. Into orange. 25%. Just think about compounding the interest. There's black. There's a wick up here, 64%, and just over and over again, and out of, with the parabola, the golden zone. And of course, once you're out of the golden zone, it's like people start buying again. But what happens most likely in the golden zone now is you have infrastructure in place, ISO 20022. You have a lot of things going on. And you have Ripple, the company, just putting its token XRP all over the place. All right, so I see this golden zone, and this golden zone occurred around 2022-ish. with that pie cycle bottom, June 2022, with the golden zone. These don't happen every day, folks. Let's look at the next golden zone. And look at this golden zone here. And that is a beautiful thing to see. Right there. Because you have fragmentation grenades going off around it, which is nice. The pi cycle top fragmentation grenades came in, and the pi cycle bottom fragmentation grenades started coming in. And when they come in, that's a wick there. The price can go up and down and accelerate out of the golden zone. Look what happened here. Shall we measure from here to here? 44% from here to the top of the wick, 141%. Price dips here, comes back up here. 26% price dips here, comes back up here. 32% dips here, really, in the black. And then this is some serious compounding interest stuff, folks. Then you hit the next golden zone. Look at this one here. And look how many opportunities you had to buy in this one. 1, 2, 3. Look how many in this one. 1, 2. And the price just started really going up. That's 4 golden zones. I don't see any more golden zones, folks. And that's since 2017, 2018. And then as far as the historical data on Binance, information just begins to snuff out. Look, we're all the way in 2016. Pi cycle bottom. Nice. And because these candles are so big, these are compressed. Falling wedge. Pi cycle bottom within a falling wedge. That's got to be beautiful. This is when XRP, to the right of the screen, was less than a penny. Now I have one pi cycle bottom, a fragmentation grenade or two going off around it with its parabola. Beautiful. That's one. Next pi cycle bottom, even though we have fragmentation grenades, the green ones plucking market bottoms and the yellow ones plucking market tops. This is the second one, pi cycle bottom with this fragmentation grenades. Remember, we're talking about since 2016 with its parabola. The third one, 2022. And of course, we leave in the golden zone. Those are big moves in there, folks. Falling wedge. It didn't break the top plane for a few weeks. And explosive. Pi cycle top fragmentation grenades, moving averages coming in. Historically, they have done so in the past. Looked at this. And now, based on the history of the chart, where do you think you are? Do you know what time it is? Do you know how explosive these moves can be in the upcoming next few weeks and months? How long is this thing going to last? As we look at the Kim Clement prophecies, a cataclysmic event leading into summer. Is this that summer, folks? Where we get distractions. Look here, but not there. This thing is looking beautiful. And the omnipresence I've reached basically is duplicating myself in the charts. I've been training AI to take over Tradingview within certain parameters, of course, and execute things that I wanted to do in an automated type sphere. AI can now have this beautiful platform that we see, communicate with Coinbase, and buy and sell the digital assets that I so choose. So this is like having hired an employee. I don't have to have my laptop open. I don't have to have my computer open or even on. And this thing can work 24/7 on my behalf and trade on large time frames such as this. Of course, you see we got buy and sell signals, right? Buy, sell, buy, 2 buys, 2 sells. I do them in pairs for redundancy. We're waiting on a buy signal, folks. We're waiting on a buy signal. And the buy signal could be huge. But of course, we'll respect the up and downs. We'll look at the Pi cycle top. We'll look at all the information. Let's look at the 2-week chart. And of course, let's cut on the Pi cycle specific for the 2-week chart. And you know, most people get paid about every 2 weeks. And just look at the opportunities that we've had. The dollar cost average on the way down. Look at the beautiful long wick here. Price got as low as 77 cents on many platforms, right? And that is just a big move here. But if you weren't in this green zone here and rode it into the next shade, which could be an introduction to orange, right? You got to know your colors: black, burgundy, and this color green. Lime could be a bridge or an exit to green, to black, or to burgundy. Burgundy, entry, green, entry, or black, entry. Simple. So we're just following the pattern of the Pi cycle top, and look, we're in the influence of, you see it, the 1 and the 3, golden cross, blue triangle, and underneath it is, and you just saw it turn dark real time, which means there's some action in there. It's warming up. And underneath the 1 and the 3 golden cross is a 2 and a 6 golden cross that paints the candles from yellow to green, indicating an upward trajectory. If left undisturbed, this thing is going to become sort of interesting. So without making the video long and redundant, because I'm not a social media content maker or anything like that, I just wanted to show people where we are historically speaking in the chart, and that the chart is evolving, and that I've hired my first employee to take automated trades. This thing can buy and sell on any time frame, on any of the digital assets I have listed here. That's on Coinbase, and I'm going to be tapping in Robinhood next. Now in Robinhood, you can't necessarily do automated trades with stock or ETFs yet. But as you see, I'm preempted. I'm good to go. I'm ready to go over here. I'm ready to make it do what it do. And when we've tokenized digital assets, I believe, such as stocks, the stock market, that's going to be a beautiful run up for ISO 20022 cryptocurrencies and so many other things. And just look at it. Just called it beautifully. I've been just looking at this thing beautifully. And AI can give me just the most beautiful reports. I mean, I don't even want to show it here because I don't want to prolong the video anymore. 18 minutes is good enough. I got to see if this video will even be able to upload on YouTube, because we're just at a unique moment in time where this is when things get hacked. This is when the smoke screen comes on the media. This is when people come on TV and say the prices are terrible and stay away from crypto, and you got to see what's going on. And this is not in no way financial advice, but it's just showing you by way of indicator what the chart is saying. Historically speaking, in the chart, this is, in my opinion, the approximate floor, not financial advice, for this beautiful cryptocurrency called XRP. And of course, you know, we can pull up any asset, and the chart layout is the chart layout. Let's see what silver is doing. Silver, $80. Not bad. Gold, $4,831. Not bad. Bonk on a 4-hour chart. Bonk's not doing too good, but his price points may bound up and down for a little bit, right? And that's fine. See the moving averages there. We still are waiting on a large white square. There are always some interruptions. We know that after yellow comes blue. So this, even now, could be a great time to get in. You see the market's cooling down in the background. You see the RSI, the white line, is now beneath the black line. And you see sell signals and buy signals. And guess what? You don't necessarily see a sell signal. So what is going on? Maybe we'll get one if a candle hits that moving average there, the white line, the 20 or 21 simple moving average. That's bonk on a higher time frame. The chart layout is the chart layout. The chart layout is always the chart layout. Buy cycle bottom. No golden zone loaded on this chart. I'd have to manually load it. And you dip down just a little more. But what happened after the pi cycle bottom? Bam! You expect to go down? Of course. Things don't stay up forever and just continuously go up forever. That's what has a lot of people confused. But look at the end of the chart here. Elliott wave theory, Wyckoff method is even showing you price projection, price points on the 4-hour chart. The 1 week chart, you can see dag near bottom, waiting on the parabola to come in. Pi cycle tops, boom. Pi cycle bottom, moving average there. Nice to see. Price went up a little, came down, went up a little, came down, went up a little, came down, went up a little. It oscillates back and forth. The chart always is the layout. ZBCN, beautiful, beautiful stuff. These digital assets are just beautiful. You can see the falling wedge here. One was a failure, but one definitely did break the plane there. And it has the potential to do some amazing things. See the market's heating up in the background on the 1 week chart. Let's see what happens, folks, as the chart layout is what it is. The educational piece and the financial IQ is definitely there, evolving, I must say. Happy to have hired my employee, my invisible employee that can talk to Coinbase on my behalf and execute these beautiful trades based on the trends I'm looking at here. It is what it is. And hopefully everyone's on their grind. I know I'm on mine. Look at that 1 week. Beautiful. Just beautiful. With the additional notes in here that it's just a reminder for me as to when the time frame of the bottom of the markets would hit, and sure enough, we're there. So we can enjoy the slight run up, let the price pull back a little bit, because after blue comes yellow. A yellow is due into the future, but we'll see how long this green lasts for as an upward movement. One thing I can say, it is a strong up movement. And the 1 week candle, if we can maintain $1.50 or above, that's going to be pretty interesting moving out of this particular week into the next candle print that should occur after my birthday on April the 20th. One of the best, I would say, birthday present I can give myself is to have been hunkered in for so long, wanting to ignore the fluff of clickbait, not necessarily be emotionally triggered on buys and sells, but to look at the data and the information. And to have AI, Claude, you see that little representation there, right? Claude, just brilliant stuff, folks. Brilliant stuff. Brilliant stuff. I'm looking at it and I'm marveling at what I'm looking at. And you have the privilege. If you understand where you are, if you understand where you are, and if you've been playing this game through the ups and the downs, if you've been stacking your bread knowing that this thing can go up and so many other digital assets along with it, as we position ourselves to become the crypto capital of the world, many cryptos will possibly go bye-bye and the strong will remain. This is going to be off the chain. I can only hope that the people under the sound of my voice have realized the unique season and time that we're in to literally have the ability and the opportunity to generate income while you're sipping some Roscato or Moscato on the beach. Is a beautiful thing. But if you don't get in on the gap and take advantage of the serious opportunities, if you don't get in when things are low, how can you ride things whenever they are high? Yeah, if you don't play the game, you can't win. You just have to watch other people play the game. And everything is volatile right now. Everything is volatile. Have you heard gas prices can go down, but there may be a disruption in the supply chain to for rainy days? And hopefully the economic monster will eventually turn around as people transition over to what was once comfortable into things that are uncomfortable and get settled into that. Don't you know the Kim Clement prophecies hold true? This running beautiful narrative of a cataclysmic event leading in the summer, 2 E's that he saw, earthquake and eruption of volcano in the national park, that wishes to be destructive, but shall be contained as a sign that many shall fall within the fall. This thing is heating up, folks. This thing is heating up so nice and so wonderful. And I can only hope that everyone is playing the smart game, the long game. Don't you give up now. Don't you quit now. You see this chart right here, don't you? You see historically what has happened whenever we hit a pi cycle bottom and fragmentation grenades have gone off, indicating market bottoms. You may come down possibly just a little bit more, but after that, you can start playing this game. You can start playing this game to win because pi, PI 3.14, and the numbers consecutively just go on forever without repeating. Pi doesn't lie. Pi cycle top doesn't disappoint. Not financial advice. Anything can happen. Anything can happen. Explosion go off. Train could derail. Good news or bad news can cause the markets to flip drastically one way or another. You can be in something and just not paying attention. Next thing you know. But it's nice that the charts can pay attention for me and execute these automated trades on Coinbase. And I'm soon to tap into Robinhood. I'm just going to keep going. I've been putting in more hours at home than at work. That's just the way it is. And I think if everyone does their due diligence, eventually they'll get paid what they feel like they are worth. But you always have to be on your grind, folks. And many of you have seen the evolution of this chart come together so wonderfully that the average lay person can look at it and judge what time it is. And there's still much more things that the eyes can't see that the brain doesn't understand about trading. So you definitely got to hook in and increase your knowledge and play the game. But when you play this game, you have to be the expert at it. In the medical field, we say if the patient is sick, If they really want to get well and thrive, they must become the expert at their own sickness, illness, or disease. You put this in the hands of someone else if you want to. They're just going to extract value and money out of you. So why risk it? Research. Do your own research. Play the game. Look at all the things we were programmed not to look at. That's a great starting point. Politics and religion is paramount. It's one of them. And you see just a beautiful time frame we're in. I don't know how long we'll stay in this golden zone, folks. But this is just definitely something interesting as we're starting to see a turnaround that could be a slight upward movement and down. It's okay. Play this game, play to win. Stack your XRP, protect it. Don't leave it on an exchange. Put it in the cold storage wallet. Do your research, play the game. To have come this far, I've lost much. I've lost much crypto. But I'm ready for the season. I tell you what, I'm on my grind. And things are a lot better now. That said and done, I'll smell you guys later.